with another video. Again, I just want to say a couple things before we get started. Thank you, everyone, for your responses to the last couple of videos. The comments are coming in, the perspectives, the views. It's been amazing. This is our first time we're doing a live stream. So any of you wishes to watch and leave a comment, come in with a question, we're going to do it. If you come with a question while I'm talking about the topic, Mike Shinoda, coping with Chester's loss, he released an EP called Post-Traumatic, which I'll be discussing in its entirety. You have the ability to do so, and either I'll stop and do the question right then and there, or I'll say, hey, wait till we get to the end and go from there as well. So, as always, just been incredible. The number of views and the comments really have been impressive. Thank you for our dedicated fans that have been with us, that have been commenting. We really, really appreciate it. Here we go. All right, let me talk a little first about Mike Shinoda in general, because I knew of Linkin Park and Chester Bennington, but to really understand the bandmates and the people behind it is very, very interesting. Mike Shinoda was born in February 1977, and he is an American musician, songwriter, rapper, singer, record producer, and graphic designer. This guy can do everything. He co-founded Linkin Park in 1996 and was the band's and is rhythm guitarist, primary songwriter, keyboardist, producer, and lead vocalist. He had a side project in 2000 called Fort Minor. His fans will, of course, know about that. And he's been a producer for other musicians as well. He's also co-founder of Machine Shop Records, and outside of music, which I'll talk about a little bit later, he's also an artist and graphic designer. And he has painted several pieces of artwork, some of which have been featured in the Japanese American National Museum. Amazing. On January 25th of 2018, he released Post-Traumatic EP, which contained 3 songs about his own at the aftermath of Chester Bennington on July 20th of 2017. What I've never seen before is someone really expressing themselves the way he did. Of course, suicide has been around forever, unfortunately. But Mike really expressed himself and put himself out there. That's what makes these 3 songs so interesting in the way he put it all together. Okay, interesting about some things about Mike I didn't know, learn more about. He's actually half Japanese. His father is Japanese. Also, he attended high school, which I knew before, with bandmates that he started the band with, actually, Brad Delson and Rob Borden. And they formed the band Zero, tried to make it more serious, make music more of a career. And then after high school, he enrolled in the Art Center College of Design in Pasadena to study graphic design and illustration. And actually, he graduated in 1998 with a Bachelor of Arts in illustration, obtained a job as a graphic designer. Everything on these 3 songs, he actually did everything. He did the artwork, he did the singing, the songwriting, the instruments. Very, very talented and do it all together. He also talked about at that time, he learned about his Japanese heritage, how he realizes he's more Japanese than he thought. And by going to Japan, he was able to connect with who he kind of like kept hidden to a certain extent, became more comfortable with his Japanese half, so to speak. He has done huge amounts of work for Linkin Park in terms of graphic design and artwork. And he has also art and painting, and he actually does sneakers. He did it for DC Comics. He did a sneaker for them, remixing the clientele, remixed the colors and the materials. Other musical activities, he's worked on video games, and he actually worked on movies as well. And then his other ventures, he has his own label. We said Machine Shop Records. He created a charity, and he's married with 2 children. So when he released this EP, Post-Traumatic, got a lot of radio attention, a lot of hip-hop attention, and a lot of just internet attention as well. One of the comments was, in one of the interviews, was Mike Shinoda talks about his new album, Post-Traumatic EP from Insta Live. This is on 6/2/18. Talks about his music and where he's going with it, just talking to his fans. And in this interview, he's just saying, well, here's where I'm going, here's my influences, and what's going to happen. He also did another interview called Post-Traumatic EP Reaction and Thoughts on the Real Rejects. And the theme from the comments was that he's still grieving, he simply needs time. There was one of the comments I liked that I kept in here from an Angela Cuttis. There is no time limit on grief, and everyone works through it at their own pace. The reviewer found it very compelling and very raw. He was using his art form. Review was taken aback and was touched as it was very heavy, and feels like the inside of somebody's noisy head. Very confrontational. He was clearly impressed with what he did, and you could feel where Mike, was coming from. Also, from another interview called Rock Feed, and this is hosted by a person named Brian Storm, he reviewed it, and as a person did as well. Mike wasn't doing any talking on that. He said, does about the EP, he did everything on his own and putting it together, and you can see that. Still don't know what will happen, but they intend to stay together in one form or another. Everything is in flux in response to the future. He put out the EP. Why? Because he's living it. And he responded grief and personal, and asked why he shot the videos the way he did. And Brian, the reviewer, said these are powerful songs. I just want to kind of go where his head was at this point. And then another interview, Mike Shinoda talking about Chester Bennington's death, live album, and song memories. This is from Insta Live, published on 12/15/2017 from Distortion Guy channel. Talked about how well the live album is doing, talked about memories of Chester singing. Summer Bittersweet, he's no longer around to sing the songs. We're doing pretty good, all things considered. Had to take a break from social media. It was a little bit too crazy. No about the future. Ben is trying to stay busy. And this is Mike responding to questions. And he said, no holographic Chester. That's what people were asking, when they did any kind of performances after his passing, would they do a holograph Chester, which has become popular recently? He said, absolutely not. He said fans are reaching out to one another. He thinks it's great, makes all of us proud. He said the tribute concert that they did helped all of them, though it was hard to do with all the work involved. He said the hologram would be too painful to watch. Understandable. Comments were emphatic and understanding, and people were feeling for Mike and what he's been through. No one likes the idea, this is from the fans and the comments themselves. No one likes the idea of a hologram Chester. People realize that the essence of Chester is irreplaceable. In a sense, you're cheapening his death with the hologram. And what he's saying is, no, we're just not going to do that. I'm not going to be standing on stage and talking to a hologram. It's just too creepy, too weird, and just not right. As someone put it, this is another comment, Wendy DeVroge, hologram Chester is like a ghost and haunting the stage. Comments were also about being suicidal and the feeling from Douglas Sandals that he was speaking for me and to me. That's a great artist when they can do that. When you can have actually somebody talking to you and their music is actually reaching you on a one-to-one level. Lisa Macher, Magcher, talked about losing her son. And she left a long comment, but she wrote, nobody was ready for tragedy. I like that line, so I included it in this. Nobody is. We go through life, things are going to stay the same over and over, no changes, nothing's going to happen. Nobody was ready for tragedy because no one is. You don't have like a crystal ball to tell you what the future is going to look like. Also said no second chances, no turning back, no repairs. Once you're gone, you're gone. And how you're gone affects you for the rest of your life if you're a survivor and you're the person left behind. It's gone forever, and that word never hurt so much until I lived it. This is from a mom who obviously lost a child, and she was relating to losing Chester, how it affected her. And sometimes people say to me, well, someone's passing, how does it affect them? It does affect you. It affects you either immediately, peripherally, but it does affect you. I've seen so many comments about Chester's songs that when he spoke to people, they felt like he was talking to them because of their own personal issues. It makes sense. I totally get it. And the reason why Mike Shinoda wrote these 3 songs, in a sense, not to say honor, but in the memory of Chester, was because he's feeling his loss as well. And when you feel that loss, you feel a void, you feel an emptiness, you're not sure who you are. Now, I want to go into the songs very briefly. I want to go into some brief understanding of it, and then I want to go into the songs. If you notice that the 3 songs, Place to Start is 213, Over Again is 350, and Watching As I Fall is 554. These were not done randomly, in my opinion. These were done specifically for a reason. Each song is leading to another, beginning, middle, and finale. And that's how he did this. And it makes sense how it all seems to feel like a bad dream, but he put it together, he layered it. And that's the beauty of these 3 songs and what he did. All right, now you're going to hear the songs as I recite them and go over them. There are several models I want to share with everybody first. First model is called the Kubler-Ross model. It came out of a woman, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, in 1969, called On Death and Dying. She gave up 5 stages, all right? I'm going to read them to you. First stage is denial, okay? You believe the diagnosis is somewhat mistaken, cling to a false reality. Second stage is anger. How can this happen to me? Who is to blame? It's not fair. Why would this happen? Bargaining. Well, if you come back, I'll be a better person. I won't be a screw up. You'll be proud of me. Number 4, depression. I'm so sad. Why bother with anything? I'm going to die soon. What's the point? I miss my loved one. You become aware that your death is not that far off. We're all going to die eventually. And finally, the 5th is called acceptance. It's going to be okay. I can't fight as man as well prepare for it. You understand that mortality is part of all of our lives, inevitable future, and that people dying may precede the survivors in this state. And you become more calm and retrospective. Okay. Problem people are going to say on this video is her model is being discredited the last 30 years. So there's a lot of opinions that this is not even true, that people don't even have these stages, that accepting the death is part of life and it's healthy. And just one comment is that a professor from Columbia University of psychology, George Bonanno, said that natural physiological resilience is a principal component of grief, and there are no stages of grief to pass. So he's saying that this is not even really true. There's no empirical evidence to back this up. This is still a popular model, even though it's been discredited somewhat. But I wanted to share what we all go through in a sense that she's claiming we do this. People are saying now it's not really true, but I wanted to share this perspective. Finally, I wanted to go over, so I found out of Australia, what happened to the survivors of loved ones. Okay, how do you handle it? So, your friend commits suicide. How do you respond? The ones I thought were the most relevant were anger at the person who took their own life, guilt over failed responsibilities, real or imagined. Why wasn't I there? Why wasn't I taking care of him? And you're angry at the person that took their own life. How could you do this to me? How could you leave me alone? The shock. What? He committed suicide? She killed herself? I don't believe it. You're lying. All right. Difficulty. That the death was by suicide. No. Never would she would do that. She lost control of that car. She didn't hit the wall on purpose. No. She would never hurt herself with medications. That's not true. You're lying. Difficulty making sense of it. I don't get it. I don't get what he would do this for. It's on top of the world. You know, she was making so much money. She was so famous. He was so popular. The question then becomes why? Suicide may be associated with mental illness, stress over certain life events. We all have them, and sometimes they just literally become too hard for us to deal with. After a suicide, what happens? You have grief. You get shocked. You have strong feelings of anger, emotional withdrawal from others, feelings of depression, difficulty with everyday routines such as eating and sleeping. People gain weight, they lose weight, they don't sleep, they do sleep. And in time, these strong feelings start to go down, the loss isn't always there, and the person can start to find meaning again in their day-to-day existence in life. Now, let me clarify something. I've had people committed suicide or family members told me they committed suicide and they were happy. Why? Because the person was suffering. Severe mental illness, schizophrenia, drug and alcohol abuse, end-stage cancer. So their death was like a relief, no more misery, no more pain, no more suffering, and they actually felt guilty, all right? Some people may feel a sense of relief. This is a normal reaction, and you should not feel guilty if you feel this way. Now, suggestions, okay. For family and friends, give yourself time to come to terms with your loss. Time. Okay, remember that grief is a normal reaction. Even when your feelings seem too intense to be normal, it is normal, okay? If friends seem awkward or unsure what to say to you, they may not know. Tell them what you need. I need just you to sit next to me. I need you to get me some water. I need you to take a walk with me. I need you to cry with me. It's okay. People don't often know what to say and do in these situations. Tell them how you feel. Anticipate that holidays, Christmas, July 4th, somebody's birthday, going to elicit very, very strong feelings. That's okay as well. That's normal. So this came out of Australia, and it came out of Victoria Health, Department of Health and Human Services, state government of Victoria, Australia. Okay, that was our premise to go beforehand. Here we go with the songs. All right. The first one is Place to Start. All right. I don't have a leg to stand on, spinning like a whirlwind, nothing to land on. Now, when this song starts, it's very hard to see his face. You only see like bits and pieces. You don't see his full face. There's a reason. He's not feeling full right now. He's not feeling like himself like he normally would. So spinning like a whirlwind, nothing to land on. So typical, you feel like you don't know where you are. You don't have any clue. You're lost. Came so far, I never thought I'd be done now. Stuck in a holding pattern, waiting to come down. Oh, realizing feelings don't go away like you thought. Oh, you'll be better in a month. You'll be better in a week. Snap out of it. Get crazy one night. Go drinking. Take some drugs. Do something crazy. Get out of your system. What happens is, though, those feelings don't go away like you think they're going to go away. And many times they stay with you for a lifetime. They get less intense over time, but that makes sense. Stuck in a holding pattern, waiting to come down. When do I come down from my grief, my anxiety, my depression? When is it going to happen? I miss Chester. Did somebody else define me? Did Chester and Linkin Park do that? Am I linked for all time to Chester and Linkin Park and to his suicide? Not for the music we put out together, the great music that we came out with and my other band, Fort Mine, my other project, but am I linked together with this terrible action that my name is synonymous with Chester's death? Did somebody else define me? Can I put my past behind me? Do I even have a decision on how my life's going to turn out? Is this a foregone conclusion that I'm done, that I'm linked now to this death, this horrific death? Feeling like I'm living in a story already written? Am I part of the vision made by somebody else? No longer am I an event. I'm part of the event. That's just so spooky. Like I was a member of a really successful band, but now, Mike Shinoda, who's linked to Chester Bennington, who committed suicide. Is that going to be how everyone's going to describe me from now on for the rest of my career? Is it going to be is it linked for all time? Pointing fingers at villains, but I'm the villain myself. The villains, man, the villains here was he had issues with drugs. He had issues with depression, mental health issues, but I'm the villain myself. Like, where was I? How come I didn't see the signs? How come I didn't know what was going on? I was one of his best friends. We hung out together. We were really close in the band for a long time. He made a comment in another article online, in an interview. He goes, we hang out together. Most bands only come together for the shows. We really enjoyed each other's company. And I don't have that anymore. Am I the villain too? You know what? I have felt that way myself, even though I'm the therapist to the stars. I'm the social worker, amazing social worker, accolades and letters and comments and awards. I've had people that have committed suicide, and I'm like, why didn't I see the signs? Why didn't I do something to stop it? Where was Bruce? Why was Bruce lacking? Supposed to be Sherlock Holmes of social work, and I couldn't figure it out? There's an emptiness there. Am I the villain? Did I fail? And everyone says to you, don't take it personal. I do take it personal because I lost somebody that was close to me. Or am I at a conviction with no wind in the sail, too focused on the end and simply ready to fail? I feel like giving up. I feel like, do I continue to go through this? No wind in the sail, too focused on it and simply ready to fail. I just don't want to deal with anything anymore. I've had people that locked doors for months on something like this. Didn't go outside, had groceries delivered, mailed, stacked super high, didn't change any dishes, cat litter reeking. clothes on the floor, just not changing clothes, like just closing all the blinds, just so depressed, weeks, months, not going back to work. Screw it, F you, leave me alone. I'm so unhappy. Not answering any telephone calls, no text messages. What's going on? Everything dark, 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 dark. And this song, boy, he starts off in darkness. There's light coming in, light coming into darkness, light trying to pierce the darkness that he's feeling inside his coconut. I understand that. Because I'm tired of the fear that I can't control this. I'm tired of feeling like every next step's hopeless. Because it is scary. There's no rules. It's exhausting to follow. You just go to A, go to B, go to C, go to D, go to E. You're on your own when it comes to something as traumatic as this. I'm tired of being scared. When I build might break apart. Like I might get better and I might slide down. Scary. I'm going to invest myself. What's that going to cost me? I don't want to know the end. All I want is a place to start. Just please show me how to get started. I don't know how it's going to end, but I can't even get to the first base. I can't get to the first step. I'm so unhappy. Please, 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 can someone look out for me? Give me some guidance. Give me some awareness of where do I go with this? I've had so many survivors of suicide in the sense that their family members, friends committed, and they sit there sobbing and crying. Bruce, help me, help me, help me, help me. I get it. There's no primer on where to start. You start from the beginning, you start from the middle, you start from the end. Where do I start? I get it. Now, you get, on this one at the end, you get people, you get like almost like halfway through, phone calls, people are concerned, leave messages, because they don't know what to say. Hey, Mike, how you doing? It's okay, I'll catch you later. Hope you're doing okay. Sending my regards, I'll catch you later. There's they switch the messages at 1:36. You say something, it may sound even like trite and silly and stupid, but you don't know what to say because, of course, it's going to be awkward. Now, I understand something also. He's in like one of his kids' rooms. It's innocent. There's toys laying around, stuffed animals. There's, kids' blankets on the bed. This is a happy make-believe world we all grew up in as children, hopefully that we all didn't have a crazy childhood. No worries, needs are met. We all live forever. But then I saw a badge in one of like the kids' toy areas, Celebrate Live, Chester Bennington, Lincoln Park, probably giving out the concert as a memorial to have. And then you can't escape the truth. In the end, he's still there. He still has passed on. He's still dead. He's still not there. So you try and go back to a happier, simpler time, but you can't because there's nothing to go back to. You got to focus on reality, and that's what's so painful. I get it. Okay, now, here is song number 2. Over again. Sometimes you don't say goodbye once. You say goodbye over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. Yeah. And, because you have this 3 different times, this chorus. You don't. Because every time you say goodbye, you think about that person in a different light. I said before in other videos, I've had about 6 different people in my lifetime have committed suicide. And you know what? Each and every single time, it was painful. Say goodbye. I'm still saying goodbye. 10 years later, 30 years later, 2 years later, I'm still saying goodbye. Sometimes you don't say goodbye once. You say goodbye over and over again, because you missed a person. Even if a person that you love dies of natural causes, you still say goodbye. But when it's suicide, it's so like, bam, it's a punch in the stomach, it's a punch in the face. You don't know what to say. So how do you say goodbye? You still think in your head, what would I say to that person again? What would I say to that person again? How would I reflect on that person? How would I relate to that person? It is so painful. So then he goes into his real feelings. It was a month since he passed, maybe less, and no one knew what to do. We were such a mess. Yeah, you're right. Because you feel like you're in a fog. You have no clue. You don't know what's going on. You feel like you're walking in cement. We were texting, we were calling, we were checking in. We said we ought to play a show in honor of our friend. We got to do something. People are wondering how we're doing, how we're coping mentally. We got to show something, some kind of support for Chester. So you feel you got to do something, anything to show you're not a zombie, you're not Dracula living in your crypt. You got to show you're still alive. So now the show is finally here. It's tonight. Supposed to go to the bowl, get on stage, dim the lights with our friends and our family. His name Celebrate. There's no way they'll remember. I'll be ready to get back up on that stage. Can't remember if I cancel the show. I get it. I've had people tell me who had family members or friends commit suicide. You just go through the motions. Brave soldier, stiff upper lip. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Reporting for duty, sir. Yes, yes, yes. I am here. I am ready. I'm not out of it. And you feel like you are in the twilight zone, that you're in a fog. People put on ties, the hideous looking tie. They didn't even know they were putting on a tie. They put on tennis shoes for a funeral. They didn't really even wearing sneakers. You know, you do things like you park your car, you nearly hit somebody 3 times. You're so in grief land. You can't even focus. You got a roar in your head. You want to cry. You want to vomit. You want to weep. You don't know where you're coming from. You're from Mars. You're that out of sorts. People are talking to you. What's going on, Bruce? How you doing, Bruce? How's everything, Bruce? How you feeling, Bruce? You're doing the best job you can, Bruce. God's proud of you, Bruce. Your family's proud of you. And you don't know where you're at. That's what he's feeling here. Can't remember if I canceled any show, but I think about what I'm supposed to do, and I don't know. I don't know. And I've been through tragedies in my life that rocked me, like doing 12 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. And it's like, bam, 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 bam. Where'd that punch come from? I didn't even see it. My hands are up, and he's still rocking and rolling with me. What happened? That's what it feels like when you're dealing with suicide. And I think about not doing it the same way as before. It makes me want to puke my effing guts out on the floor. Normal. Your stomach's churning. You feel like you want to puke your guts out. Understandable, completely realistic. We rehearsed it for a month. I'm not worried about the set. I got tackled by grief at times that I would expect, that I would least expect. I know what I should be doing when I'm singing, but instead, we're playing through a song I remember in my head. Bam, sucker punched. Hey, you're playing a chord? All of a sudden, you look over, that should be Chester. I've walked into rooms where people used to work, committed suicide, and I thought, that's John's chair, man. What happened? That's John's chair. That's where Stacy used to sit. That's where Jaquan used to take a walk. He used to play basketball with me. Hey! And he grabbed the ball, great rebounder, and also I see a guy rebound, and I flashback. What happened? All of these things happened to me. Walking into a building this guy used to work in. That's his building. He's not here anymore. But his essence, his presence, he's not here, and I'm diminished because of it. I'm less of a man because of it. You know, sometimes you don't say goodbye once. You say goodbye over and over again, over and over and over again. Sometimes you don't say goodbye once. You say goodbye over and over and over again, over and over and over again. It's so true. You do that in your mind, because what would you do if you had 5 more minutes with that person? My mother, if I had my mother back, she died of natural causes, but if I had 5 minutes back with my mother, what would I say to my mother besides hugging her and kissing her and saying, Ma, I love you, I miss you so much? That at least was somewhat planned. My mother died. My friends, the friends who committed suicide, what would I probably say to all of them? Damn it, you didn't think you were important, but you were important to me. And now that you're not here, I'm hurting. You're gone. You know, the pain was too much. It was too unbearable. I'm not blaming you. I understand, but your non-presence diminishes me. I miss you. I miss your laughter. I miss you laughing at my stupid jokes. I miss you looking at me, laughing. I miss your companionship. I miss your essence. And the world is not the same place without you. Because you were important to me. You didn't feel you were important to anybody, but damn it, you were important to me. So what are they saying? I'm not raw. What the F you take me for? All of a sudden you hear what I said 100 ways before. Oh, now you get it. Now you get that I'm crazy in my head, that I'm angry, that I'm being self-destructive, that I'm punishing myself with alcohol and drugs, that I'm not sleeping, that I'm not eating, that I lost 30 pounds, that I'm sleeping all day, that my work sucks. I'm not myself. I get angry at the smallest things I used to never get angry about. I'm looking for trouble. I'm just, I've been drugged myself through hell and flat and had the ability to start all again from scratch. Yeah, drag myself through hell. That's what it's like. Climb out of a pit. Because you are so low. You feel so emasculated as a man, as a person, as a woman. You feel so lousy about yourself and who you are. And that sucks. Okay? And I've had to go through that with friends that committed suicide, and I leave the funeral, I leave the situation, and you know what? I feel this high, like a midget. I wish, less than a midget. My friend is dead. My friend is gone. I'm looking at the gravesite. It's so disabling. How do you feel? How your show go? Am I insane to say the truth is I don't know? My body aches, head spinning. This is all wrong. Yeah, it's fluff questions. That's what you're going to get. Fluff questions. Because what do people say? They don't know what to say. You don't know what to say, so you say something stupid or something generic. Hey, how you doing? How you feeling? You feeling okay? Getting back to it? Getting back to your routine? Getting plenty of sleep? Don't forget about self-care. Take care of yourself. That's important. Don't forget. Hey, stay strong. Family needs you. They miss you at work. God loves you. God's always there. Religion's there for you. Everyone's saying things at you, but it's just a lot of times it's like eating cotton candy. You eat it, but it doesn't feel it because there's nothing satisfying about it. You're at a loss. And then, am I insane to say the truth? I don't know. My body aches, head spinning. This is all wrong. Yeah. Why am I happy? Great show, Mike. Oh my God. People were crying. You really rocked it. Oh my God. I can't believe what you did. Yeah, you feel like I'm happy. People are saying, what a great performance, what a great concert, and my buddy is dead. What am I happy about? What am I proud about? I feel like a jerk. Like am I gaining something from his death? I understand that concept. I almost lost in the middle of a couple of songs. Everybody I talked to was like, wow, must be really hard to figure out what to do now. Yeah, I almost lost it. Yeah, because you forget where you are. And people tell me they missed their stop on the exit for a month. Exit 13, well, they look up, it's exit 27. What the heck just happened? I drove 30 miles extra? Or they're sobbing in their car, like weeping. They got to literally get off the highway and just calm themselves down. What happened? Well, they stopped eating. Well, they used to love watching basketball. Didn't watch a game all season. Used to take a walk at night with their wife. I can't do it anymore. I see to let me just chill out. Start popping open the cans, the bottles. Drink. With drug. With self-destructive relationships. Things that never used to bother you. A guy who honks your horn. Yeah, you want to honk your horn? I'll honk my horn. You want trouble? I'll give you trouble. Losing it at work. Hey, what happened to Bruce, man? Used to be a nice guy. He bit my head off. Your work suffers. You can't even focus. You look at the numbers in front of you on the computer it's like you're looking at hieroglyphics to get where you are. And it becomes like the Twilight Zone. Where am I? Who am I? Where am I going? Okay? Must be really hard to figure out what to do now. You think? You better believe it's hard. It's not easy. It's a hard process to come back. Thank you, genius. You think it'd be a challenge. Only my life's work hanging in the balance. And all I wanted was to get a little bit of closure. You know what it's like? You want to get a little bit of closure? You got sucker punched. You walk into a room in a dark room, bam! Get hit in the nose. All of a sudden, like it stings, you bleed. Like, where did that come from? I just came to go to the bathroom. All of a sudden, boom, sucker punched. That's what it's like. We hope for closure in this lifetime. We hope, but you may not get it. And so every step I took, I looked and wasn't any closer. Yeah, walk. You think, what's like a Fitbit that says you got 1,000,000 miles to go before you reach your target goal of your 8 billion steps? That's what it's like. Walk. You don't know where it's going to go. Like 1 step equals a mile to lead to a mile to lead to 10. It's like, it's infinity. Because sometimes every step I took, I looked and I wasn't any closer. I mean, I'm not any closer to clarity, to making any sense of this. Because sometimes when you say goodbye, you say it over and over and over and over. Yeah, because it's happening in your mind. Your mind's not at ease. You're not sleeping. You wake up middle of the night. You wake up, you go to the bathroom, you vomit. You get nauseous, you got diarrhea. What happened to you? Take a cold shower, take a hot shower. You start drinking tea to calm yourself down. You wake up, it's 3 o'clock. You look at the clock again, it's 5:15. Where did 2 hours and 15 minutes go? Because your mind is not at rest. Over and over and over and over. I get it. And sometimes you don't say goodbye once, you say goodbye over and over again. This is the 3rd time he's repeating this. Over and over and over again. Sometimes you don't say goodbye once. You say goodbye over and over and over again. The emphasis on the over. And then over and over, over and over, over and over, over and over and over again. He's no longer in sync. He's in free fall. Over and over. Yeah, you're like this. You're like you just fell off a bridge. It's the dark rushing by you. That's what it's like when you have a death of a friend. And this is what happens. You replay the end. Or why is he saying this over and over? Because you're replaying the event over and over in your head. What could you have done differently? And believe me, I've done that. When I've had incidents of trauma in my life, of death, I have done that 1,000,000 times. What could I have done differently? What could I have done differently? Over and over and over. They say, don't replay it. You can't help it. You're going to. Quick story, a baseball story. There was a manager 1,000,000 years ago named Gene Mark. He coached for like 30, 40 years, a long-time coach. He's coaching for the California Angels, Anaheim Angels now, whatever. But, the Angels, okay. And he finished the game, and there was a guy named Mike Port who was the general manager. And he walked down, and he was walking past the hotel bar, and he sees Gene Mark in there with a drink going over the game from the last out. And he goes, Gene, what are you doing? He goes, I'm replaying the game in my head with a pencil to see what I could have done differently. And Mike Port says to him, Gene, let it go. Either we won or we lost, but you're a great manager. Let it go. He goes, I can't until I replay the game in my head. A couple of years later, he died of a heart attack. Mike Port got out of baseball of the front office. He went to the commissioner's office. That's where he is now. I never forgot that story. He goes, Gene, what are you doing? Go relax. He goes, I can't till I replay the game in my head. And he coached several thousand games. But every game, he had to go back from the last out to the first out. Did the 7th inning make a difference? Should have done something differently in the 4th inning. How about the 2nd inning? Was the pitcher ready in the 1st inning? Could he have gone 5 innings? He blamed himself. And he didn't enjoy the wins, but he went over the losses again and again and again. And Mike Port, after a couple of years, said, you know what, the stress, I got to go. He went to the commissioner's office. And in 252, in this song, it becomes out of focus, out of body experience. Now it's who am I? Jingle jangle, nothing's fitting, very discordant. Sudden end, you reach your limits, finite. Like finis, I'm done. I am empty. You sucked all the blood and life out of me. I have nothing left. I'm done. I have nothing left. Finis, done. Okay, last song. Watching as I Fall. Now this song is the last song of the EP. It's the longest one of all. It's like I think it's 5:52. But you're seeing the desert from the bus initially. Apt perspective. You know why? You look at the desert. He's looking at it from a bus, and there's mountains in the distance. Yeah, Miles and miles and miles to walk. You walk 5 miles, you think, boy, those mountains look really close. They're further away. 5 more miles, thought it came even closer. Damn, it's getting even further away. That's an apt metaphor. You walk, you walk, you walk, and you get nothing. And he looks tired and he looks worn out. Still in dark, he's angry, spitting out the lyrics. Swirling colors, nightmares, not in focus. Where is Mike? Where is Mike? Mike's retreated inside his head. And then he goes like this: excuse me while I kiss the sky, sing the songs of sixpence, pocket full of lies, thinking I'm okay, but they're saying otherwise. Tell me how I look, but they can't look me in the eyes. You know what he's saying? He's saying I'm hurting. I'm feeling that none of this makes any sense at all. I still can't believe one of my best friends it's killing me. And tell me how I look, but can't look me in the eyes. You know why? Because the truth is no one can. How can they look you in the eyes? I dealt with parents that lost children. Hey, you have 3 other kids. Whoa, be careful saying something like that. I've had that happen where people say things that are so insensitive or they're trying to say something. Look me in the eye, but they can't look you in the eye because they don't want to go there. They don't want to go inside. They don't want to go into the rabbit hole. That's scary. So you stay in the distance. You don't want to jump in. So when you jump in, what you might find might be pretty scary to hold on to. Watching as I say this and then I do that, telling them the old words but in a new rap. Then I change my mind up and make them lose track. I'm inconsistent and I thought they knew that. This is to be expected. It's normal. You're still in shock. It can take years. Telling them the old words but a new rap. Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm getting my act together. One day I spoke to my boss. It's all good. Burning up some sick time. Might do some things around the house. Yeah, I need to come back to church, synagogue, get close to get my real understanding of what it's all about. Then you come by to check. Yeah, you know what? I'm inconsistent. People don't understand that. They think, oh, there's a timeline. As we said before in the other paperwork, there is no timeline. It could take days for some people. It could take decades for others. Maybe I should be more grateful that I had to watch it all come undone. Yeah, I understand that also, because I had to watch it all come undone. Like you saw the highs and lows. There was the good Chester, there was the bad Chester. There was the Chester that was positive, the Chester that needed rehab. You saw it in all of its, pearls and garbage in a sense. You saw the guy hurting, you saw the guy struggling, and you saw some great music at him. You had great times with him. Yeah, the highs and lows. Holding so tight, so the edge is painful. To the edge is painful, but I can't ignore it. Can't ignore it. I know. Yeah, when you're there from the beginning to the end, there's no relationship that's ever going to be perfect. You see the highs, you see the lows. Like being married. I know about that, being married. Highs and lows, they come together. So they're watching as I fall, they're staring as I go. I'm telling you from experience, from a clinical level, this metaphorically happens. People will be in the room and you are losing it. You're literally falling in your head mentally out of it, and they just watch because they can't reach out. They don't even know how to. They go like this. They push themselves back. They don't know what it's like. They can't relate to that kind of grief. So I gave until my soul hurts and never told them so. Yeah, you're trying to be tough. And it's only when you realize you're not Superman, you're not Superwoman, that start to vent, start to chill out, start to relax. Don't put all the weight on your shoulders because you're not Superman, there's no S on your chest. What's going to happen to you? You're going to stroke out, you're going to heart attack out, you're going to diabetic out, you're going to have high blood pressure out. That's what's going to happen. You got to learn to put the brakes on and like those air brakes, take the heat off. Otherwise, you turn into a volcano, you're going to explode. They're watching as I fall somewhere down below, but maybe I'm just falling to get somewhere they won't because you're grieving. When you feel this way, that's true grief. And maybe they don't have the ability to do that. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they never really cared about Chester. Never really cared about your mother, your best friend, your girlfriend, your boss, your lover, your son, your daughter, your pet. You're really, when you're this way, what he wrote, that's raw. You're grieving, you're feeling it. And maybe for these people, they don't have the ability to do so. And you know what? That's on them. That's not on you. Don't look for group grief. Do it for yourself individually. Excuse me while I sympathizing with the fat lady. Tell me what's the time. You know what? It's not afraid to cross the line. Nothing is it forever. Don't be mad at the design. Ask me if I can. I say I don't know. Honestly, I spy that I can sound cold. Still upset from stuff that's 15 years old. Yeah, because sometimes people get upset when people are happy. So glad it's over. He had schizophrenia. He was suicidal. He hurt himself. He cut his wrists 6, 7 times. She was in and out of hospitals for her drug addiction. I'm happy she's finally was successful. I'm happy it's over. She's in no more pain. She couldn't cope with the death of her child ever. She never left the house. And, people will be like, oh, how can you say such a thing to sin before God? You're not a good person. Hey, you know what? It's how you feel. It's how you feel at this moment. All right? That's how you feel. I buy that I can sound cold. Yeah, they can say that, but they don't know how you're feeling. And maybe you're feeling like, you know what? I don't want to remember my friend this way. It's too painful. I know what it takes to and he goes, I don't know what it takes to make me let go. You know what it does? Time, hopefully a supportive family, and remember, support from friends. And remember, no one size fits all. You're entitled to your feelings how long it takes. For some people, it's a few days. Some people, it never ends. You decide where you need to be and how you need to handle it. Okay? And then, it goes, man, I should be more grateful that I had to watch it all come done. Holding so tight to the edge is painful, but I can't ignore it, I know. Yeah, you guys are so close. You guys are together for such a long time, for over, close to 2 decades. It's understandable. The closer you are to the flame, the more likely you are to be burned. You put the most time into it, the most effort. It makes the most sense. Then, they're watching as I fall. They're staring as I go. Again, until my soul hurt again. Never told them so. Repeats this again. Watching as I fall, somewhere down below. Maybe I'm just falling to get somewhere they won't. Because he's in shadows now. He's popping in and out. How do you express yourself to people? Because I'm just falling to get somewhere they won't. What's happening is you're falling to a true level of understanding and acceptance. And I've had people tell me who were so depressed that suicide was an option. They felt like, okay, remember the movie Get Out? The scene where the guy's talking to the girl's mom and she does the thing with the spoon, with the teacup, da, 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 and she hypnotizes him and he goes like this. He falls backwards and he's in that black and he's looking up and he can see her and she's the clear, but he's in the black and he's like this. He's lost. He's like, that's what it feels like of people who commit suicide. That's how they feel. They feel so helpless and hopeless that they're out there like this. He's like this, and she's doing that teacup. They're rattling in the teacup with the spoon, hypnotized. Now here's the end where it goes at 3:35. It stops. Music stops. He starts to have a conversation with the audience. He talks about the number one, the passing, Chester. Then number two, he talked about. It's been 4 months since Chester passed away. Talks about the California wildfires, but a close friend dealing with it, having to be evac'd. Talks about things that he listens to. And, it's very stressful, very depressing. Okay? And he says it's been 4 months since Chester passed. Holidays are going to be hard. Reality, Christmas, New Year's, a new year without my friend. It's not going to be easy. It's hard to do things amid the chaos, but he goes, I want to enjoy the holidays with families and appreciate what I have and what I got. And I want to work hard on my music and art and see where that will take me. Because At 2:14 in the song, you see the artwork. He did it all himself, by the way, and the images blur into one another, like it's just chaotic. And then the second chorus, watching as I fall, the desert. Where do I start again? Where do I start? And then you see the last second before he starts talking, running. He's like this. You see just his feet running. Where are you running from? You're running from your own mind and your thoughts. And the end, music is like a top like this. It's like, you remind me like it's like a spinning top or a record coming to a stop. I can't run away anymore. This is it. I have to deal with it the best that I can. I don't know where I'm going to go with my music and my life, but I got to start. That's the reality of the situation. I don't know where I'm going to start. Where Lincoln Park's going to take me. Do we stay together? Do we break up? Do we bring somebody to replace him? Do we never replace him? Do we pretend he's not replaceable? I don't know. Do I go to Fort Minor full time? I don't know. But I got to start. I can't run. I can't run away from my thoughts. I can't run away from life. The desert's going to be there forever. It's going to outlive me. I can only walk as far as I can, but that's it. Mike, hang in there. That's all I can tell you. Take it day by day. Do the best you can. Totally understand what you're going through. And just do the best you can with what you have in front of me. I'm going to talk for one more minute or so. Anyone wants to put a phone call in, now's the time, because I just finished. I'm thinking it might have been a little bit too intense for people, just didn't want to, call in the meantime. But if you want to call, now's the time to call. We're at the end. I'll give it like a minute. I'm going to do some talking, give people a chance they want to talk or not. It's okay also. I already saw, my producer. I already can see from the bottom, people are already watching the video. So if you want to say something, great. If you want to just, focus and throw a comment down, that's also good. Look up the comments. It's no problem. Call. Now's the time to chat. I'm here. I'm available. I'm accessible. This is me in real form. So what is the purpose of doing these three songs? One, I've never heard of a musician kind of paying homage to somebody else by three very, very distinct songs and three very different songs, but all kind of linked to the thinking of grief, outpouring of grief, outpouring of emotion. It's impressive that he went ahead and did what he did. What's his future going to hold? I have no idea. Obviously, only he does and the other members of the band. I hope he continues to make music. Hope he continues to do graphics and do design and score other musics and keep his record label going and continue with his charity. They all seem like wonderful things. He seems like a really nice guy. There was an interview I couldn't find. I saw it last week on YouTube. And he was doing a meet and greet before a show, and his fan said she came 4 hours just to meet him, just to see him. And he's like, "You came 4 hours? You have a ticket?" And she goes, "No." He said, "You're getting a ticket." And she goes, "I got a friend in the car." He goes, "Get that person here to get a ticket also." And he said to one of his managers, "Can you make sure it happens?" He goes, Sure. Get your friend. They came 4 hours to see him. He was clearly, obviously touched. He said, "I'll get you a ticket. 2 tickets, don't worry about it. You'll see the show." And the other people that were in the meet and greet, he was like, "You want to take a picture? You want to, whatever you want, like just accessible." And he's talking about the band, how much the band liked each other. They enjoyed each other's company. Wasn't like most bands. They liked spending time together. He seems like a really pleasant guy. Clearly very, very creative and very, very, focused on a million different things and does them well. Have your work hanging up in a museum is impressive by itself. So, and for you out there, and a lot of you have commented to me about having issues with suicide in your own families and people killing themselves or being around trauma. This video is for you guys. We made this for you because we realize how many comments are related to this topic. Understand now what suicide is and what it isn't and how you feel as a survivor. So you don't have to go down that path of self-destruction. Get a better understanding of yourself so you don't have to worry about stupid questions or questions that are inane. Get a better sense of self and maybe give you a sense to understand what he went through with those 3 songs, what he did. Take the information that I gave you and kind of go from there. This is a long video. It's probably close to an hour. But just take this, and if you're having those kind of moods, those mood swings, those feelings of doubt and self-loathing and regret, I'm a loser, I should have done better, why didn't I do better? Watch it. Give me your comments, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about something like this? And I'm going to close with this. We are doing this live chat because we want to be more professional. We want to reach out to our fans better and let you feel more connected to us. And we're going to continue to do more of these. As I tell everyone in my videos and in life and in my counseling, you got to start somewhere. The person gives me the first question. Well, you give the first question in Nevada history. So don't worry. And there's no question, in my opinion, from counseling or from talking, that don't think you're going to embarrass yourself or like look dumb. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from people directly. It puts us in a new context, a new experience, a new way of reaching out to others. And we're going to do more of these. We're going to link these videos. My producer / agent is brilliant at this kind of stuff. And we're going to do more and more of these. And maybe people are afraid to stick their toe in the water. Don't worry. Watch, realize this is who I am. Questions. I want to connect with my people. And a lot of you are doing that already from your comments. So I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you have to say. Don't worry. And and if you're worried about saying something that might make you look, in your mind, spread your dirty laundry out, don't worry. You don't have to, I can read between the lines. I can get that also. Don't worry. So I'm going to close with this. I still see no questions. I see the, 0 there. It's pretty easy. But feel free. We'll do more of these. We're going to have more of these kind of contexts. So again, Summonership of Nevada, we're going to keep on pumping out these videos. One thing about the videos, I'd love to do more of them. I'll have to do one every night. It's just, I work a lot and I got a lot of responsibilities. So, and honestly, this video itself, I probably watched each song about 15, 20 times. And I probably went over the paperwork at least for another 5-7 hours. So I'm talking to probably put a good 10 hours into this. So it just takes time to do it right. I don't want to do a slipshod job. I want to give you, so when you get something, you can take this to the bank and say, this is something I can actually use, is helpful, is relevant. In closing, continue with the comments. We're looking forward to it, and we want to see more of you, and we're going to continue to do more of these kind of chats. I'm done. I'm finished. You guys are great. Thank you once again.